All right, let's check in with our guy, Nick Kenyon now, senior writer for BetMGM. Give Nick a follow at Nick Kenyon. Nick, great to see you, my friend. I'm excited to talk some golf with you. Also, some Champions League. We got some big matches coming up today and tomorrow. But let's start with the CJ Cup, the Byron Nelson this week. What's the handicap, Nick? What should we all know about this course and the kind of golfers that we're looking for?
Hey PJ, good to be with you. Yeah, it's another pretty straightforward handicap this week. It's a birdie fest this week. You're not going to see many bogeys made at TPC Craig Ranch, but it is a bomber's paradise over 7,400 yards. So you do need some guys who can bomb it off the tee a little bit. But beyond that, it's strokes gained approach, it's par five efficiency. Those are really the two key stats that stand out in my model. Go over to the blog to find the full model as well as my final mixed condition model that I'll reference. But yeah, you need to make a lot of birdies and you need to stripe it with your irons. That's pretty much it at TPC Craig Ranch.
Fair enough. Nick, who are some golfers that you're looking for this week? Who are some guys that you really like?
I'll give you one short shot and two bombs I really like. We're going to
Okay.
start the card with Taylor Pendrith at 28 to 1. The number is not great, but he's played really well earlier this season. He's kind of fallen off a little bit recently as the courses have toughened slightly. This is not that course. He's the defending champion at the Byron Nelson, and he finished fifth a few weeks ago at the Houston Open at Memorial Park. A course not too dissimilar from this track. So when you look at his 50-round sample, he's 18th in strokes gained tee to green, 11th in strokes gained approach, 14th in par 5 efficiency. He had top 10s at both Torrey Pines and Pebble Beach earlier this year. I really like his profile this week as sort of a buy low candidate within the market.
Fair enough. All right, so you like Pendrith. Who are some long shots, Nick, that you're on this week?
I'll start off with Davis Riley at 80 to 1. He is 88th in the 50 round model, but third in the 12 round, fourth in the 24 round model. Three top 30s and four starts at TPC Craig Ranch, including a tie for ninth in 2022. What's been really working for him recently is the ball striking. Last 12 rounds, ninth in strokes gained tee to green, 11th in strokes gained approach, fourth in par 5 efficiency. He's also a very good putter on bent grass greens. If you look at his last 12 rounds on just that surface type, fifth in the field in strokes gained putting. He's second overall in my final mixed condition model, so 80 to 1. I really like that as a flyer. And then give me Sammy Valimaki at 100 to 1. I couldn't believe this number when it came out. I was expecting to see something in the 60 to 70 to 1 range because Valimaki's recent ball striking record has been absolutely outstanding. Fifth in strokes gained tee to green, first in strokes gained approach, first in par 5 efficiency over his last 12 rounds. Over that same sample size, he's fourth in both birdies or better gain and bogey avoidance, which is another kind of sneaky correlated stat this week at Craig Ranch. Players who make a lot of bogeys obviously don't finish near the top of the leaderboard. So I really like Sammy Valimaki at 100 to 1 if he can continue his great ball striking record.
Really good stuff, Nick. I think you might have sold me there on Valimaki. Going to have to add him to my card this week at the Byron Nelson. Let me ask you, right, do you enjoy weeks like this more on the PGA Tour when it's a birdie fest and theoretically you feel like you have a better shot at hitting long shots? Or do you like the other weeks on the tour when it's like a major week or maybe they're playing at Riviera or the Arnold Palmer where we know that probably the top-rated players are going to separate themselves? Do you enjoy weeks like this better when maybe you feel like you could hit a long shot or more of the field is open to you?
Yeah, it's always tricky because you have to hit the right long shot. I do think events like this offer more volatility. And so seeing Scotty Scheffler priced at plus 300 in an event like this is a little bit crazy to me. But yeah, you never know who can just pop out of nowhere and get a hot putter. So it does make it a little bit difficult, but there is more volatility because of that, because you don't know, like maybe that guy who has great ball striking could just get a hot putter. But generally speaking, I probably prefer the majors. You don't have to question motivation, and there's a little bit more ease of handicapping strategy when it comes to building the model.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Nick, I want to ask you a couple questions about your favorite sport. We got the Champions League going on today. Heavyweight matchup, man. Arsenal and PSG. any plays that you like in this game today?
I feel like I'm doing something ill-advised, taking over 2.5 in a Champions League first leg. I don't see how this game is anything but goals. Arsenal, they played earlier this season, 2-0 Arsenal, but no Martin Odegaard for Arsenal, no Ousmane Dembele for PSG. Those are two big absences when it comes to both teams' attack. Arsenal, despite that fact, created 1.6 post-shot XG against PSG. So I think you've seen their attack flourish with Bukayo Saka coming back recently. If you put Odegaard into the fold, I think you still see some success from Arsenal. That said, I don't know how their defense keeps PSG out. PSG, I know people might say, like, okay, they're not going to have the same success against against Arsenal that they did against Aston Villa. But if you look at PSG against Liverpool, that's the closest comp to this Arsenal defense. 1.6 XG at home, 2 XG at Liverpool. I just don't think this Arsenal defense, as constructed, is on that level of Liverpool with no Gabriel in the starting 11. So I would be very surprised if either team fails to score in this game. So when over 2.5 goals is only minus 120, I'm going to take a shot at that again on today.
All right, very good. We got another game tomorrow, Nick, between Barcelona and Inter. Anything that you like in that one?
It would be Barcelona or nothing. The price has drifted a little bit high, so you're kind of laying 3/4 of a goal or even a goal on Barcelona. Inter were really lucky to get through that quarterfinal against Bayern Munich. +1 goal differential over 2 legs, negative 1.35 post-shot expected goal differential. If you look at Barcelona, they played Bayern Munich earlier this season, +1.6 post-shot expected goal differential in that game, 4-1 win at home. If you look at Inter's record against Big Five European sides on the road this year, 1 win at Bayern Munich, 1 loss at Bayer Leverkusen, and 1 draw at Manchester City. But they lost all 3 of those games on expected goals. They allowed 2 or more expected goals in 2 of those 3 games. So it would be Barcelona or nothing on Wednesday.
All right, very good. Nick Kenyon, make sure you guys are following him on X at Nick Kenyon, senior writer for BetMGM. Great stuff on the PGA Tour and on the Champions League as well. Nick, enjoy the rest of the week, my friend. We'll talk again soon.
Sounds good. Have a good vacation.
All right, man. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Let's continue rolling here on Send It In. It is a Tee It Up Tuesday. Let's continue talking some golf. We got the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson this week out in Texas. And like Nick said, man, it is a birdie fest this week. Par 71, about 7,600 yards this week. 5th time that they are holding this event, the CJ Cup, at TPC Craig Ranch. And the previous 4 times, the winning score has eclipsed 23 under. So to give you guys an idea of what we're in for this weekend, it's going to be a lot of birdies. So if you're going to pick a golfer that's going to win, it's going to be top 5, top 10. They better make sure that they're playing good golf and that they're knocking in their putts and they're making a lot of birdies, because usually that's what wins here. Relatively easy course again this week. You got wide fairways, and it's all about approach play. That's pretty much the big thing that I'm looking for, strokes gained approach. And like Nick said, also, it definitely is advantageous to be a long hitter this week. Big driver, because the fairways are so wide, you have a little more margin for error to miss. So want guys that are bombers, and then also guys that are able strokes gained approach as well. 3 golfers that I have my eye on this week. We're going with Ben On at 22-1. Last 2 times that Ben On has played here, he's finished 14th, and he was 4th place last year at this course. Ben On is one of the longer hitters on tour, and his iron game is starting to come around. Also has got a good short game and is a good putter as well. Benny On can go low when he's hot, and I think the way that he's playing, the way he's forming into shape right now, I think he's worth a look at 22-1. Give me Jake Knapp at 50-1. I'm kind of handicapping this event this week, kind of like it's the Mexico Open, right? That is one of those courses where you're looking for guys that bomb the ball. That usually plays really well there. You got to make a bunch of birdies to win at that course. Kind of the same type of thing here. Jake Knapp won at the Mexico Open a couple years ago. He finished 8th at this course last year. Knapp is one of the longer hitters on tour, and he's a really good putter, right? So he bombs it a mile. If his wedges and his irons cooperate this week, he should be able to rack up a ton of birdies and be in contention. I also think he's got a great price at 50-1, so give me Jake Knapp. Also, give me Alejandro Tosti. I love this guy out of Argentina. 80-1 to win this week. Tosti's been playing some really good golf as of late. Tied for 5th, tied for 12th, and tied for 2nd in his last 3 events. Again, one of the longest hitters on tour. Good putter as well. I think Tosti could be in the conversation this week. I like his price at 80-1. And I'm just going to tail our guy Nick. The Sammy Valimaki play, I thought his reasoning was terrific. All the numbers of how great he's been as a ball striker recently, you're getting that at 100-1. I think that's a good look as well. So my 3 guys, I'll tail Nick on some Sammy Valimaki as well.